Before this video begins, if you'd like to come talk about the game to me or any other like-minded people, there's a Discord link in the description below to the Battlefield No Salt Discord. We talk about the game updates, what we'd like, what we don't like, and just come in, join the conversation, and talk to me and talk to everyone else who loves this game. Anyway, onto the content. Battlefield 2042 Season 1 is almost at a close, and it's been an interesting one, with a front-loaded content drop followed by a drip feed over the next few months. Many players have been satisfied and dissatisfied by the season, but I think now is a better time than ever to go over if Battlefield's first season was a success or a failure. First of all, we have the main event, Exposure. After a few months, this map has cemented itself as one of my favourites from the past few Battlefield games, as it includes lots of verticality, indoor and outdoor areas, and blends different playstyles to allow essentially anyone to thrive on specific points in the map. Metro-like gameplay is found in the tunnels, while vehicle combat happens above and below the main facility, while aircraft dodge and weave between collapsed valleys. Overall, the look and tone of this map proves that the amount of time put into it is likely a lot longer than the launch maps, and this standard needs to be upkept with the next season's map too. The new guns were probably the most underwhelming part of the season for me, as the BSVM started as an overpowered weapon and still kind of is when put on full auto. The crossbow is a fun one, but I haven't found myself dying to use it besides some instances of just messing about with my friends. However, I am optimistic that next season will include more weapons, along with the portal weapons being ported to all-out warfare. The new helicopters also proved an annoyance, but their look and aesthetic fit really well, and they're also receiving another nerf soon, so once that's done, I shouldn't have too many more complaints about those. The additions of the new portal vehicles is pretty great too, and using an A10 to gun run an objective is something that I'm glad I can do now, and I hope DICE keeps up a stream of content for Portal in the future. Hit registration and stability of the game has overall been drastically improved, as I no longer have to worry about falling through the map or getting stuck on an object that isn't there. Keep these fixes up and the game experience will just keep getting better. Kaleidoscope received its much needed rework. It's pretty great. Check out my previous video essay if you'd like my full thoughts on that. Immersion has been increased a lot this season too, as the specialist look and feel update made each feel more battle hardened, while the improved animations for running, idling and turning added a more polished look to each map. The improvements to maps such as Kaleidoscope 2 added a lot of grit. Things like anti-air cannons firing really added a sense of realism to the map, so I hope that that's upkept in the next season and all the reworks to come too. My Season 1 initial video also covers a lot of smaller stealth changes too, and all of these have amounted to a solid game experience. A poll I put out also showed that most of you guys were either very or somewhat satisfied with 2042's first season as well, so I believe if the game keeps up this trajectory, it'll be above and beyond what anyone expected it to be. And now we go off script to talk about something else, and that is the fact that that's it. There wasn't that much content in this season, and personally for me, I'm looking for more next season. The fact that going over that somewhat briefly, I might add, I have videos going further into these topics, but for now it's pretty brief, only took up 3 minutes of time, is a bit of a red flag for the amount of content this season. And if DICE really wants to upkeep a good player base for this game, they've got to add more next season in the first drop, and then drip feed more and more as time goes on. More reworks, more weapons, more portal maps. It's needed. Because even though I like the content in Season 1, there simply isn't enough of it. But is there a brighter future we can look forward to at all? Well, first of all, a big thing for me is a server browser. That's being looked into right now, and it would help when me and my friends want to jump into a match on a certain map, but can't because of the RNG method that there is now. I have no doubt that more hardware is coming next season too, and I'd like to see maybe tweaks to tanks, adding more tanks, more vehicles that are on the ground as opposed to in the air, because right now they're kind of weak, apart from the MAV, which can take a lot of rounds. The tanks do get destroyed fairly quickly because the amount of anti-tank resources available to take them out. Maybe a buff to their health or something to make them a bit more substantial and give them more impact on the battlefield. I remember seeing a tank in BF5 is pretty terrifying when you read his squad, but in 2042 everyone whips out a rocket launcher and it's dead within seconds. The data mine maps by Temporeal, being called Drained, Docklands and Lights Out, are all ones we could look forward to in the future. It seemed like one of these was a portal map, while the other two were almost confirmed to be the next season's maps, or one of them's this season, one of them's season 3. So hopefully these working titles sound pretty cool, and I think we should get some nice locations to fight in the future. But we'll just have to wait and see for the official reveal to see what DICE have got planned. And lastly, this is a bit of an odd one, another one I'm going to go off script to talk about, and this is more communication from DICE. There are most likely a lot of things that DICE employees and community managers can't talk about because of contracts with EA, but we need more communication about what's being looked into on the game on bigger streams of networks. So like, I'm not talking the EA forums that have to be shared around by the community themselves. They have big official Battlefield accounts that can spread info far and wide, but they aren't used except for the big announcements, like the announcement for Season 1. Use these streams, use these platforms to send out messages of, okay, this is what we're working on, this is what we're building building towards, we're gonna support this game for this long or this long, and use those bigger channels like the official Battlefield account rather than the smaller dev accounts to push information out because it's needed. And the majority of people won't see the smaller accounts updates because they might not see them all shared around, or they might not follow the right accounts to see the information. It would be nice to have all of that in one place that's easily accessible for people that don't keep up with everything in this game. Anyway, overall, Season 1 was pretty good for me, bugs and all, it was great. And it seems like a lot of you guys liked it too, judging on this poll. Granted, it is quite a small sample selection, but it's worth noting nonetheless. So, what are your opinions on Battlefield 2042 Season 1? And what are your hopes for Season 2? Leave them down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.